on the move again, from the Eocene forward to the Pliocene, when our earliest ancestors were just starting to walk upright, and sharks, the creatures of our worst nightmares, were even bigger and more dangerous than they are today. This time, we're hunting the largest shark that ever lived.
We're in Peru, right on the rim of the Pacific Ocean. And living out there, there's something terrifying. So if you're afraid of sharks, you'll be a gibbering wreck when you see what we're going to try next. Look, the most famous jaws in history are great white sharks. I've swum with those in the open ocean, but they're minnows in comparison to the prehistoric shark I'm hoping to meet, Megalodon, the biggest carnivorous fish that's ever lived. That name, Megalodon, what it means big tooth. And I don't think I need to explain why.
Hunting a megalodon was asking for trouble. At 60 feet long, they were the largest predatory shark of all time. Now in the third deadliest sea, the growing danger was causing friction among the crew.
I think we should head straight out into the deep water. The weather may change. Let's look for the adults.
No. I think we should start with the juveniles.
We haven't got enough time to do that.
It's dangerous.
We couldn't be sure how Megalodon would behave. Some argued that it would be worth studying smaller, safer juveniles before risking a dive with an adult.
How long it's going to take to attract a Megalodon, we've got to move on.
In the end, I had to agree.
I'll do one dive with the juveniles, and then I think we ought to head out into the drop-off and try to find the adults.
Diving with sharks is like buying real estate. Location is everything. Like young great whites, juvenile megalodons prefer the shallow water, away from the grown-ups, but near their favorite prey.
I'm hugging the kelp here. I don't want to be caught out in open water. Big predators, they don't like going into dense weed like this. The other thing is I'm hoping to find the creatures that juvenile megalodon prey on. And they are the oddest of creatures. There, Odobernoceratops leptodon. That name is a mix of Greek and Latin, and it means the whale that walks on its teeth. And if it turns towards us, you can see why. One tusk is about a foot long, but on the other side, the right-hand side, look at that. It's about 3 feet long, and the males probably use those for jousting with each other in the breeding season, just like narwhals. Slurping sounds, they are superb. Flipping it, look! Take my eyes off that. The biggest great white shark ever was just over 20 feet long. That thing, it must be just 3 years old, and that's that size already.
And a fully grown megalodon would be 3 times the size of a great white. They'd seen juvenile megalodons, but didn't know enough about them yet to feel safe in the water nearby. Rather than wait for an attack, the plan was to provoke one.
This Odobernoceratops, it wouldn't fool you or me, but hopefully as a decoy it will fool the juvenile megalodons. If they're anything like great whites, when they see this in silhouette at the surface, they should come up to investigate, and it will enable us to learn a bit more about them.
Our dummy didn't swim as well as an Odobernoceratops, but the young sharks didn't seem to be put off by that. After just 15 minutes, our onboard camera got the shock of its life.
What's happened to the decoy? Did it hit it from below?
Straight up from underneath.
You can see the damage that was done here. It seems that Megalodon has one of the same hunting techniques as great white sharks. What they do, they can't afford to be injured by their prey. They sneak up from below, make a devastating attack, and the power of that big fish, well, look what it's done to this decoy. This is obviously weaker than a real animal, real sinew and muscle, so that's why it smashed it in two. But if this was a real animal, it would, of course, bleed to death. Then the shark would come in when it was really weak and then make the final coup de grace.
Leaving the juveniles behind, we took our boat a few miles offshore.
The Pliocene age, as recent as 4 million years ago, and the third most dangerous sea of all time. This is the home of the largest shark that ever lived. The search for Megalodon will take them further out to sea, an area jam-packed with marine life. All of it potential prey for the ultimate predator in these waters.
Anyone who's tried to get close to sharks knows this eye-watering stench. It's the smell of chum. That's a mix of fish blood, fish oil, bits of fish pieces. What we're going to do is throw that over the side. There'll be a trail of odour which will go for miles in the current. A Megalodon will smell that and start zigzagging towards the boat. When it gets close, we've also got this amazing delicacy for it, a great big bag of fish chunks, and that should entice it and keep it around the boat. And if they do come, what we've got here is shark cam. There's a little camera inside this. We want to get an insight into the world of the Megalodon. I've got to get close enough to attach it to the base of the massive dorsal fin of a Megalodon. It won't hurt the shark. This will dissolve in a couple of days. The camera will pop up to the surface, and then we'll find it and hopefully get some insight into the behaviour of the wild Megalodon.
Sure there's something to the left over there.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain.
Given its size, this fin could only belong to a full-grown Megalodon.
You can see the blood and the fish oil leaking out of the chum bag.
The shark cage was a sort of no man's land, but it was impossible to know if it would hold up against such a massively powerful opponent.
Oh, my word.
A Megalodon's teeth can grow up to almost a foot long, in jaws that can open more than 6 feet wide. Fossils have been found with Megalodon teeth dug deep into whalebone.
he's taking a pass now where he's going to be really close. And let's see whether I can get the short cam on. Missed that time.
I just had to get the camera on the fin.
This is hopeless.
This was turning out to be much harder than I'd imagined. The fin was just too high. Having failed to attach the camera underwater from the cage, I had to try another strategy. This time from above the water.
The Megalodon had finally come close enough. Only time would tell if that was the good news or the bad news. It's been a long, strange trip for zoologist Nigel Marvin as he counts down the 7 most deadly seas of the ancient world. Traveling along a timeline back to the Earth's earliest days, he's faced off against 5 of the most formidable sea monsters that ever lived, with 2 to go. But only if he can get past Megalodon, the largest known predatory shark of all time.
You idiot! Don't move that chump bag till you can see the shark! Winch it up quick!
Success at last.
Scared when I fell in, but
That was
thanks,
fantastic.
mate.
Well done.
The camera was designed to break away from the shark and pop up to the surface. A few days later, they pick up the signal.
There it is, look, just ahead of us. Come on. We should have a precious and unique cargo. The camera seems okay, there's no damage here. A bit of shark fin. So what's happened is either rubbed this off on rocks on the bottom or something. I just hope it was on long enough to get some really great footage. Look, we've got some, the camera's working.
The shark cam captured a day in the life of a megalodon in the Pliocene age. The point of view of a perfect predator patrolling the waters of an ancient sea.
It's a silhouette there, look. Whether it's an Odobonoceratops or whatever. You see that? And this could be great if we got a kill. He's going down.
He is attacking, look. Crikey! Wow.
Oh, look. See that again. The footage we got with the shark cam, it's better than I could have ever hoped. It is so unique. Just watch this. The shark, it's down below, there's a shape up there. It's not an Odobonoceratops. It's actually a species of whale. The shark's gone down so it can get more momentum when it attacks. It's accelerating now. And the violence of this impact, look at that. A cloud of blood, that's what knocked the camera off. This is extraordinary. It's a species of shark that actually attacks living whales, and pretty big ones at that.
But even this perfectly designed predator will be unable to defend itself against the coming ice age. As the oceans turn colder, whales will adapt and migrate up to the icy polar regions. While Megalodon, without the whale's protective blubber, will be forced to stay in the warmer water around the equator, and deprived of its prey, will be starved into extinction.